good, thank you. Get all your cotton out now. You're gonna give me the countdown? Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our May So Fun Club. I am so glad that you're here to join me. My name is Michelle Rank, and I've got some fun binding tools to help you with binding. But before we get into the topic of the month, I always like to remind you that each month we have a drawing. So if you're virtual out there, if you like and comment or share an item online, you can be in the running to win one of these fabulous prizes. Now this one is machine embroidery thread. There is 10 different spools in here, and we're also including this fun little fat quarter. So value is about $35, so you don't want to miss out. And all of our wonderful people here that is at our Beria store, we also have one that we will draw here in the store. That will all be at the end of our show and tell, where we'll draw those names. So you're going to want to tune in all the way to the end to see if you're one of the lucky winners out there. Now, so for this month, I picked the topic of binding fun. And I'm going to talk just a little bit about binding. Binding is one of those things that if you're a sewer, at some point you're going to need to tackle. I know that I have had an evolution of the type of binding that I've done. And when I first started, it was one of those things that I dreaded. I love the sewing process, but actually doing the binding, it just wasn't my favorite thing to do. So what I decided to do was I flipped the script on it, and I decided to turn that negative that I dreaded and turn it into a positive. So when I get to the point where I'm done with a project, I know when I do the binding, it's a good thing because it means I'm done with the project and I can move on to the next thing. And if you're anything like me, I've already got multiple projects lined up for when I'm done with the next one. So binding is something that I look forward to now. When I started, like I said, I used to do a basic binding where I just sewed the ends together. I didn't know any better. And then I moved on where I had a pocket, and it just has evolved now to where I have basically a science when I do my binding. I do it the same every single time, and I manage to get very precise binding all the way around on my items that I create. And with that, I want to encourage you to maybe not hate binding so much. I brought in some tools that are going to help you with binding. So if you're one of those people that will pay someone to do the binding, these tools are going to help you get precision and exact binding on your projects. Now, the first item that I brought in is basically for beginners. Now, this tool here is just a basic binding tool. You'll notice that it has an edge here that is slanted. This is at a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to go to the close-up camera so you can see it a little bit close up here. Now this tool, we have a very special price for you. It is normally $10, but we have it on sale for $7.99. Now the advantages to this tool, when I first started doing binding, I looked to YouTube and I watched videos, and that's how I learned to do my binding. And it wasn't fun or easy process. This tool here has all of the information exactly how to do it on the tool. It shows you how to match the ends, how to miter them, and it's all on there. So you don't have to watch any videos. All you have to do is reference your tool, read the instructions, and you too can have perfect binding. Now, the way the tool works is to get that mitered edge, you're going to take it, and when you cut, you're going to do right here. Let's see if that's on camera. Sure is. So you're going to cut both ends where you have that 45-degree angle, and then you will match them together. So this tool is just a fun, easy way to make your binding perfect and precise every single time. And once again, we have a very special price on it, and it's only $7.99. It's one of those tools that you should have in your arsenal. Now, the next item that I have, you may have noticed, I pulled out. Now, these are binding spools. And I tell you, I got one of these probably about 2 years ago. And let me hold them to the close-up camera as well. And what they are is an actual spool to hold your binding. You may notice that I have this one here. It's a lot of binding. There's probably about 2.5 yards of binding on there. And I still have room on the end here to fill it up. Now, some of the great advantages is it's got this wonderful glitter to it that when it's on my table and I've got a bunch of stuff spread out, it'll catch the light so I don't lose it. And if you're like me, sometimes you got a bunch of stuff on your table. So I love that. Now, I've had an evolution of keeping my binding as well. When I first started doing binding, I just folded it up willy-nilly. And you may notice that you'll get kind of ruffled edges, which is going to diminish the effectiveness of the binding over time if it's just loose and having those edges rub. So I started putting them in a bag, and then I got a binding spool, which was this big wheel. I also have another contraption that's square that I can wind the binding around, but they're all really large. So if you travel, if you're going to go to an event or a class and you have your binding, these things have made it so much easier for me. They're more condensed. I can have several of them ready to go next to my machine, and they don't take up as much room. But really the great thing about them is I can put a ton of binding on here. And let me show you real quick how much is on here. Some of my other tools that I have, you can't hold as much. So if you're doing a really large quilt, and there we go. Look at how much is on this one spool. They really make it way easy. And to start it, it's got these slots. I simply line the slots in and then start winding it on. So they really have made keeping my binding ready to go. Super easy, concise, takes up not a lot of space. And if you're like me, you're going to want more than one, because if you have multiple items in the works, it's good to have more than one. So that is the binding spool. We have a very special price on that as well. I'll go to the close-up one more time. It's normally $9.99, and we have it for $7.99 today. And the glitter is included, no charge. Okay. So the next item we've gone over regular binding, and now the next type of binding, which also stressed me out when I first had to do it, is bias binding. Now, bias binding is a type of binding that you do if you're going to do curves or rounds or anything that has a not straight line. And the way that we know that we need that is because regular fabric, you have a linear up and down where the weave of the fabric is. But if you're going around something curved, you're going to want to have that fabric cut at an angle so that it gives a stretch and you're able to go around the curves easier. Now, if you were doing just straight grain binding, which is just the width of the fabric cut from one side to the other, when you try to do these curves, you're going to get puckers and pleats, and it's just not going to lay nice and flat. And that's why you want bias binding. So I brought in a tool for that as well. I'm going to hold it up here and I'll go to the camera in just a little bit. This is the bias binding tool. And the great thing about it is on here, it has markings, once again, that shows you exactly how to fold your fabric, exactly how to cut your fabric. So you're going to get perfect bias binding every time. And I can't tell you how beneficial it is that when you're making something, you can just reference it on the tool and not have to go somewhere else and read something. It just makes it super easy. It once again has that alignment, the 45-degree. But the great thing about this one also is it's 2.5 inches wide, but it also has the markings for 2.25. I'm going to take it real close to the camera now so that you can see. It's got all of the linings here. You'll see that it has the 2.5 and also the 2.25. And there's a bunch of other information. It's got a regular ruler. So it really is a tool that's going to make bias binding, cutting for your quilts super easy. Now the bias binding tool is normally $25.99, and we've got a very special price for that as well. We have it for only $20.79, and it's going to be one of those tools that you absolutely need for the next two tools that I have to show you today. So the next one that I have, I'm going to go straight to the close-up camera on this one. This one is the Creative Grids curved ruler. So it's got multiple curves. So it has, each side has a different radius of the curve, and that allows you to make different size curves on your quilts. It also has a corner that you can use for squaring up your quilts. You'll see that it has the inch marks, so that will help you with squaring up. But I like my tools that I can use for more than one project. So having these additional rounds that you can use really makes this tool a 5-in-1, not just a single one. Now this one is normally, one second, let me get it. It is normally $26.99, and it is only $21.59 today. Now I want to show you, you can see on this, I'm going to hold it up here. You can see that I just used this on the curve, cut it. Once my quilt was squared up, I used it to cut that edge. And the only other thing that you need to know is with anything that has curves, you're going to want your rotary cutter that is a smaller diameter. If you were to use your 45 on some of these, you're going to nick the ruler, and you're also going to degrade the life of your actual blade. So you're going to want to make sure that you have one of the 28 rotary cutters for any of these rounded corners. So very simply done. You will see that I have precise binding through the straights and also through the curves. And I'll hold this up so you can see the entire thing. Super easy, super fun. And if you have been doing binding for years and you've always done corners, the great thing is sometimes people have problems with the corners, getting them folded the right way so that they are perfectly done. There are no corners on a curved binding. So all that you have to do is make sure that you have your ends, and you're not going to have to worry about the folds in the corner to make sure that they're lined perfectly. And I love that. Another thing that I love about having a curved binding is it really can change the whole look and feel of your quilt. If everything's square, it almost upgrades it a little bit and gives you a little bit more of a fancy edge. So this is just a leftover quilt block that I had that I made just a simple table topper, and having that curved edges just really makes it look a lot better in my opinion. Now the next item that I'm going to talk about, this is a quilt that I had made, and I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. It is a laundry basket. It's Jolene Star, but you'll see that I also just rounded the corners on here as well using this wonderful curved ruler from Creative Grids, and it just makes it look a lot better. And depending upon the type of quilt you have, if you have a quilt that's really busy, having those rounded corners allows your eyes to focus to the center. So just a fun little quilt that we have here. And that, once again, is our curved ruler that we have. And I'll hold it one more time up to the camera here so you can see it's a multi-size curved corner ruler. And 5 different things you can do with it. Now the next one that I have, I'm going to start once again at the camera. This is our scalloped template. Now the scalloped template is normally $29.50, $49, and we have a special price on it. It is only $23.59. And this one, just like the curve, you're going to notice that it has multiple areas that have different size waves. And I'll hold it up here as well so you can see all of the curves are slightly different. So it's going to give you basically 5 different tools in one. So you're going to have the curve, you have one round here, and there, and then you also have a corner. So it's one of those tools that you can do multiple things with. And if I show you at the camera, you're going to see that it has the inch lines, which are going to help you line up the corners perfectly. It's got a mark here where you can line things up, and it also says for small, medium, and large where to line things up. It also has the seam allowance marking all the way through, which I love, because sometimes if you're trying to cut off something on a block, you want to make sure you're not cutting off points or something that you're going to lose in the quilt. So I love when quilt rulers have that 1/4 inch seam, so you can make sure you're not cutting off something important. Now this one we've got a lot of samples for, and I wanted to show you all the different things that you can do with it. Now the first one here that I have, this is done, it's a quilt with the Scrap Crazy 5, and you'll see that I just did a fancy corner, but I left the sides basically straight. So it just gave it a little bit of a fancy edge on the actual ends. And once again, line that up and you can see it's pretty precise there. So that is the first one. I didn't scallop the whole quilt, I only did the corners. Now the second one here, you'll notice, it's a biggie, so let me get it set up here. This has got scallops all the way around the entire quilt. And once again, if you hold it up to the corners, it is pretty spot on. And look how fun these corners are. Rhonda Berg made this quilt, and she did an amazing job at lining things up. So if you have a quilt that you're doing width to width, what you're going to want to do is either start in the middle or start in the end, and you can do scallop, 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 scallop. And then when you get to the center one, you can either make the dip a little bit longer depending upon the width of your quilt, or you can make the scallop part a little bit longer. It's super easy to adjust your scallops to the length of any quilt. And on to the next one. Now the next little item that we did, I wanted to make sure that we had something that showed that you don't have to just use this ruler on a quilt. So look at this adorable table runner that Rhonda made for us. And isn't that clever? She used the scallops on the actual scallop ruler to create the movement on that center part. I think it's super clever, super neat. And once again, I love tools that you can use in multiple different ways. Now, on the next one here that I love with the batiks, isn't that gorgeous? Notice that her scallops have a point. You don't always have to have the rounded part on the corners. Isn't that clever? So it gives it just one more way to finish your quilt that looks different. And you'll also notice on this one, she didn't use the very deep scallop. She used more of a rolling low one. So you have the options of using whichever corner you want to create however deep you want your scallops to be. And it's great that you have all of those options. Now with that said, if you look to the quilt in back of me, this is my confetti quilt that I made. And you'll notice that I use multiple different angles on my ruler to create more of a scrappy type feel to this quilt that's very scrappy, but it's not uniform. So it's a wonky edge. And I love that about it. I still have the nice curved corners, but you'll notice it meanders back and forth between all of the different angles here that we have on this one ruler. And the other thing that I want to share with you is don't feel like you have to do scallops on the entire quilt. This next one that I have that Rhonda made, she only did the scallops on the top and the bottom. Now, isn't that clever? So you don't have to always do the scallop completely all the way around. You get just as much bang for your buck and having something that's very unique by just doing the tops and the bottom. Really fun and really clever. So those are the tools that we have today. And once again, the scallop one is the one that does most of the scallops, but we do also have the curved ruler. We have the bias binding tool. We also have the regular binding tool, and don't forget those wonderful binding spools, and you're going to want more than one to make sure that you have all your binding nice and ready to go. So I hope I've inspired you to maybe think outside of the box when you do your next binding project. It's nice to have options, and I always like to stretch and try to get different tools that I can use in all of my sewing. And all of these tools, it doesn't matter if you do machine embroidery, quilting, or even if you're just doing a tablecloth. Those angles are going to be beneficial for you all the way around. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is show and tell, my favorite thing. And I always want to encourage you to basically share, comment, and like on our Facebook feed so that you can get in the running once again for one of the products here that we have for our giveaway. I love to see what you guys are making, and it's always fun. You never know what little thing someone has shared that's going to spark an interest for you and give you an idea for your next project. So what I want to do is show, and I have a little story to tell. At our local guilds here, there were 2 guilds that were having fabric sales, and I happened to go, and one of them, they had a lot of 30s prints set aside, and Mother's Day was coming up. So I got, and let me hold this up for you. I got a bunch of 30s print fabric, and at the sale, I also got the border fabric here and the backing fabric, and I made very quickly that day. I finished the piecing of it, and then the next day I did my wonderful free motion stitching on it. And I've got a gift for my mom just like that. And it was good prices, super fast, and she is absolutely going to love it. So it's with a churn dash block. And once again, everything just came together flawlessly. I love this quilt, and it was super fun and fast to make. And it was with all discarded fabrics that someone else didn't want. So super fun. Always check out your guilds to see when their next sale is going to be. So now we're going to bring in our local people here. And the first one we have for show and tell is Karen here. And I can help you hold.
This is a Nita Good design, and it's a baby quilt for one of our newest babies being born. He was only 4 pounds.
Oh, was he in the NICU? Wow.
And I've been off with a knee replacement, and I've done 5 of the Swedish weaves in that time.
Look at the details to that. It is just gorgeous.
It's all handwork done with just weaving into the monk cloth.
Very nice.
I brought just a couple of them here to show you. Oops.
There we go.
There you go.
What a great thing to get into. It just is so beautiful.
It's really nice to sit and do in the evening time when the TV's on and you're not really interested in the TV. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, Marilyn, come on down.
Well, I have all these quilt tops, so now I'm just putting them together with edge to edge. So it was 35 quilting hoopings, and so now my dear friend's going to hand bind it for me.
Isn't it nice to have friends like that?
I know it. She's already started.
And I was fortunate enough to be with Marilyn when she was doing the hooping on this for her embroidery machine to do the quilting. Super fun, super fast, and she did a great job lining everything up. Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay,
Unlike
next.
I'm not going to hit you. I'd like to.
I'm getting ready for the 4th of July, so I made this table runner.
Oh, very nice.
And it's by Designs by Juju.
Designs by Juju. I love it. So you've got 5 hoopings there as well as all of the borders. And I think you were working on this when I saw you last as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It takes me a little time.
It's gorgeous. Very nice. Oh, this looks big. What a treat. Which side's up? There we go.
Okay, this is designed by Nancy Hieronymus Barrett. And I wanted to applique the frogs using the embroidery machine, so I took Diane Beckman's classes on those pillow wraps. And I have lots of mistakes, but I had a good time.
We always say don't mention the mistakes because we don't see it. Yes. You may know they're there, but they are hidden to us. It is gorgeous. I love the color and the pop of the frogs. Very nice. Okay, Karen, come on over.
My new sister. She gives her sister presents. I like what she makes.
Yes. Last year, I was gifted this kit. It's called a brown bag mystery. The only thing you can see when you purchase it is just the border. It took me a year to put it together. Speaking of my sister, I'm going up to visit her in a month. And there's a quilt shop up there that works out of her home that's going to quilt it for me.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it is absolutely gorgeous.
So this is the brown bag mystery.
Very cool. Well, what a mystery. It's a beautiful mystery.
Thank you.
Good job, Karen.
Yeah, a little while.
That's all right. No one was calculating the time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, next up we have Marianne. Another item I saw in the works.
No, that was the.
That was different. Come on closer. I won't bite you.
That's my little graduation gnome,
Oh, isn't he sweet?
and it's from Corn Muffin on Etsy.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be a keychain. But it's the pattern. She's from some other country, or Norway, or some.
Scandinavian country.
So I've ordered the yarn. They're 50-gram little balls. Shipping was, I ordered 24, and shipping was $150.
Ooh.
And it says it's coming.
Well, that's good.
Yes. But I thought,
Well, he's cute.
and then I posted on Facebook, and she sent me back a message. She goes, "Oh, that's so cute. Can I send you a free pattern?"
Oh,
So I told her, "Thank you."
very good. Well, that would be a very big keychain.
Yeah. And he's got his little diploma and the 20.
Yeah, I noticed that right away. Very
Yes.
nice. Thank you. Come on over, Jen.
Okay, I'm also working on Mother's Day gifts. I did this for my daughter.
Oh, look how pretty that is.
Oh, that's beautiful. And now I can't tell you what pattern it is because it was on one of my flash drives.
I love that machine embroidery.
And I finally finished one of my Diane Beckman. This was a table runner. She only had one panel in the middle, but I have a long table, so I added the 2 extra panels to make it fit my entire table.
I'm going to turn it this way so you can see that really adorable bunny that she has on each end. Isn't that sweet? Very nice. Anything else you got in the bag?
She's been busy. Then I made another baby quilt, another one of the cuddle baby quilts.
Very nice.
So soft.
But it's already like shedding.
Yeah.
Love Minky, but it's always better after it's been washed a couple times.
Yeah, exactly. And then, finished the job.
Ooh. It's upside down. Here we go. Isn't that sweet? I saw this when she was working on it as well.
And then
It's
Show the
got
back.
really cute back,
The back is cute.
back fabric as well. We all love our pets, that's for
That's right.
sure. And was this one a gift?
That one's a gift.
Okay, well, they're going to be very happy.
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing. Okay, next. Hello. Hi, Susan. Look at that. Oh, so we've got applique and piecing. Do you know the pattern for this one?
Forgetting the name of this.
Well, that's all right. No quilt police are going to come get you. It is really pretty, and I love the colors. Great job. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Okay.
I'm busy doing my Christmas and birthday stuff ahead of time.
Oh, well, that's good. It's always good to be ahead of the game.
And this is a John Deere. It's called Miss Margaret, and it has a sub-designer, and I don't remember her name. And it's Kleenex on one side
And a
and
zip bag of that.
the zippered coin thing on the other.
Very nice. So perfect for
And then
your
I put her
purse.
name on it.
Yeah, I'll hold that while you show your next things.
And these are reverse applique, OESD, 4x6, 5x7.
And what's on the inside? Is it notebook or pictures?
Well, it's
Oh, look how cute that is.
line paper, and we've just been walking over to that other big store to look for the plain, so that I can give one to my cousin's granddaughter because she's
Oh,
very,
so she
but
can-
I can't find them other than going online and doing 25, and
Yeah.
I don't want to do 25.
Yeah.
So,
Well, what a great gift.
yeah. So
Well, very nice. Thank you for sharing.
you're welcome. I'm just gonna go like this.
Okay. So once again, we love it when you share your items that you're working on. And now we're going to draw the name for our lucky winners. Let me get back to the other side. And magically, for our in-studio show and tellers, I have our names in here for everyone that shared. And I'm not looking, guys. The winner this month is Marilyn Penix. Come on down. So I have not forgotten about our virtual customers. Let me get Marilyn here, and I have the name for everyone out there that's with us virtually. And we want to thank you. You're so welcome. We want to thank you for joining us each and every month. And I don't want you to forget, for any and all of your sewing needs, don't forget moors-sew.com. And we're always here to help you with whatever you need for sewing. So our next winner that we have virtually, we have Donna Mirzwa. Hopefully I have not completely butchered your last name, but Donna, we have this for you, and we will be shipping that off. Fatima will be contacting you. So congratulations. And next month, I'll give you a little teaser. Our topic for next month is Americana. So you're going to want to stop in with us again and visit us for Sew Fun Club. And we look forward to seeing you each and every month. Once again, moors-sew.com for any of your sewing needs. And until next month, thank you for joining us, everyone. Happy stitching!